about, is the Bible Israeliyyat? No, yes, it is. What is Israeliyyat? I've not really categorized this very clearly. I should have changed it slightly. So basically, Israeliyyat are narratives transmitted from the people of the book or from their sources. That's a general kind of understanding of what Israeliyyat are. Now, it's not just the believers amongst the people of the book, it's also the unbelievers amongst the people of the book. Do you remember we spoke that there's two groups, there's believers and unbelievers, where Israeliyyat also includes the things that the people of the book say who are not believers. Okay, so generally the Israeliyyat is information that is not wahi. It's not from the Quran, and it's not from the speech of the Prophet ﷺ. It's not from information that the Prophet got from revelation. This is information that people of the book narrated. Some of them were believers, like Abdullah bin Salam, Salman al-Farsi, Ka'b al-Ahbar, who was a rabbi that converted to Islam, who was from the Tabi'een. You've got Wahab bin Munabbih, who was also from the Tabi'een. He also narrated. These people narrated things about their tradition, and these are trustworthy people who narrated things about their tradition. And when they narrated things from what they believed to be true. Now, it wasn't always true, because sometimes it was corrupted. As we mentioned, the disbelievers, they did tahrif. They hid, they wrote things, they changed things. And later on, we even get the Bible, right? Coming into the Islamic in the Islamic system. So Muslims had access to the Bible. So the point here was saying that these are all the narratives which are transmitted from the people of the book or from their sources. But there's a difference between something one of the Sahaba and Tabi'een said, which has an authentic chain back to them. It doesn't mean the information is authentic, but it has an authentic chain of transmission back to them. And something that is claimed that the Sahaba and Tabi'een said that doesn't have an authentic chain back to them. And then there's also a difference between statements that are from later believers and unbelievers, and even statements from the Bible and Apocrypha. So you can see that this is a vast body of literature and information from the people of the book. But there's different levels of, I don't want to say authenticity, because we don't affirm any of it. Okay. However, there are things that are true, and there are statements that are more valuable, I would say, not necessarily truthful, but more valuable than others. For instance, something that one of the Sahaba or Tabi'een has mentioned with good intentions, they believe it's correct. It may still be wrong, but they believe it to be correct, etc. And then there's a far difference between biblical literature and Apocrypha. You cannot compare, a statement from the Sahaba with a statement, of the Bible, for instance. So this is what Israeliyyat are. What it doesn't include is the authentic hadith where the Prophet ﷺ told us about the previous nations. So there's some authentic hadith where the Prophet ﷺ tells us about the people of the book in the past. This is wahi. This is classed as wahi because the Prophet ﷺ is getting this knowledge from Allah, and this information that he relays is part of our Sharia as well. However, the statements from which are not connected to the Prophet ﷺ about the people of the book, these are regarded as Israeliyyat.